Hi, everyone. Welcome to Empowered with Gina. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, today we are interviewing one of my newest girlfriends who inspires me. She is a radio host, a media host, a content creator, and she is living that life that we all maybe have thought about, where you up and go and just like, I'm going to create a new life for myself. So she's doing that. Everyone, please meet Jessica Flores.
Hi, Mama. Thanks for having me. Finally, about time.
Finally, I've been following her bi-coastal. Like, can I interview here? Finally, she's back in LA.
I had to come back. Had to come on, girl.
Thank you, friend. Okay, 3 adjectives to describe yourself. Go.
Okay, right now, I would say spontaneous.
Oh.
Yeah, spontaneous. I would say, wow, that's...
So good.
Okay, I like this.
No
Dang,
wrong answer.
She said.
No wrong answer.
Spontaneous, I would say, I know it's 2 words, but problem solver, because right now, like while I'm on the road, I'm constantly having to solve a lot of problems with the RV and all that stuff. And then my third one right now is, I would say, right now, I am fulfilled.
Oh, gosh.
Those
and
3.
I can say that seeing you, knowing you in the short amount of time, I can say that I see that you're doing that. So It's wonderful and I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So before we get into, Jessica, you're very well known. You have a big influencer following. Who was little girl Jessica growing up? What did you want to be? What was your childhood like? Where do you come from?
Okay. Both immigrant parents. Dad's Mexican, mom's Colombian. I grew up here in Los Angeles. I was always like very much a tomboy, so soccer was my number one thing. I had like a really strict dad, 3 brothers, a lot of male energy around me, so I always wanted to play like soccer at recess. I also really loved singing, and I think that's why I got into radio later in my life, but soccer was definitely like primarily my main thing. I was really, really bullied when I was younger, so my outlet was running, working out. Like my self-esteem very much stemmed from being the best athlete, like on the playground, being the fastest person in school, winning like all the jogathons every year. Like that was my cling to like self-esteem, I would say, is like my athletics. And then, went to high school. I finally found myself, got a tough skin, found my voice. And from there, I ended up playing soccer in college.
Where'd you go?
USC. USC, let's go, fight on. And I mean, since then, I would say like sports shaped a lot of like the hustleness in me, like that fire in me. Mm-hmm. That was like a little bit of my childhood.
Why were you bullied?
I was honestly raised in a predominantly, and mind you, like my parents didn't come from a lot, but they made a lot out of themselves. They're very much no victim. Can I cuss on here?
Yes.
No bullshit. They're like, I'm going to make, with not even speaking proper English, spoke very broken English, made a great future for me and my siblings. With that being said, they were immigrants that lived in a great area. So like the area around me was predominantly white and Asian.
Where was that?
It was, why was that?
No, where was
that? Palos Verdes.
Oh, okay.
Palos Verdes. So it was a great area, but we were still very much like half living in this culture, half living in that culture. And I think a lot of kids didn't relate to me in that way. And I didn't fully relate. I had a code switch a lot, So I didn't really vibe with like a lot of the girls. I think they thought like I was weird, or like my mom's accent was weird, or like where I came from was weird. I didn't really... And I went to like a really tiny school. So if I didn't vibe with the girls in that class, I wasn't going to really, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
You don't really have a lot of options for friends out there.
And so to compensate, you just became the like supreme athlete.
Yeah, that was like for sure my thing. I was like, okay, well, if I can't be anything else, I'm going to be the best athlete in class.
Okay. So you get a scholarship to USC?
Went to USC.
Okay. So go to USC. And then what happens at USC? Where do we decide? Are we like, oh, I want to go into radio? Like, how did you pivot?
Yeah.
Sports.
And that's the thing too. And Gina, I think you can definitely relate to this, is in life, you really go through seasons where you have an identity, you like cling on to that identity, and you're so scared to shed that identity, that chapter off, that you hang on to it a little bit longer than you should. And the one thing that I can honestly say is I'm very happy that throughout my life, I've been okay with sometimes shedding off like a previous identity of mine. When soccer was no longer suiting me and I knew I wanted to take advantage of everything USC had to offer, which was an incredible journalism program, an incredible communication, a lot of internship opportunities, a lot of networking, and I couldn't really do that being a D1 athlete. I knew it was time for me to move on. And soccer just wasn't feeling the way that it did
So you didn't
my
like
whole life.
force something that you knew was going to be a dead end.
Yeah, I knew I probably didn't want to play professional. I don't even know if I could. I mean, it's so competitive. I just knew I wanted to try something else. So I just went for it. It was really tough transition. I was confused. Wow. I was crying all the time. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? But shedding that old identity, like we have to constantly do in life is growth. So that's kind of what happened. Like freshman year, I had a lot of turmoil in my mind. Like, why am I still playing sports? Finally just went for it and started from scratch.
So pivoted to journalism, not having any background. You didn't take any classes on it. No family or friends in it.
No family, no friends. Yeah, just went in there. But definitely dealt with imposter syndrome.
Oh.
Because I was like,
naturally.
Athlete. Yeah. And I went in, and then I started entering spaces where these kids, these girls and guys got into this school for journalism. Now, I was just there. I wasn't at USC for the purpose that I went there, which was sports. At least that's how it felt in my mind. So I didn't even feel like, am I meant to even be in these spaces right now? Like, these are really well-spoken, really, you know, they were great at writing. They probably had like the top SAT scores. I'm like, do I really fit in here right now?
How
like,
interesting. And this seems like it echoes your childhood where you didn't really fit into that small school you were at either. And you just had to figure out how to fit in.
Yeah.
Like you didn't think you were naturally supposed to be there.
Right. Okay. But I will say hard work will always trump anything else. And that was the one thing that I had in me, is like, I have grit and I might not be here for the reasons you're here, but I'm here.
Okay.
If I'm in this space, we're going for it. Let's go. Let's go.
Fast forward, we graduate. What's your first job?
My first real job happened in college. So already I left sports. I left soccer. I jumped straight into interning at Univision. I interned at a place called Dash Radio. I produced the TV show on campus. I did the journalism and I did USC radio. I mean, when I say I jumped in, I said, I am not gonna just leave sports just to screw around. You know, I'm gonna really go in. I stacked my resume, and then Radio Disney went to a career fair my freshman year. And I remember seeing the table and I was like, I want to be on the radio. That wasn't even really a thought of mine, but I'm like, I love music. I grew up singing with mariachi my whole life. I want to be on the radio because it's bridging two things I want to do, which is communications and music. I get to sit there, listen to music, talk to people. Hello, dream job.
So literally a job fair booth?
Job fair, yeah, career fair for students to get internships. Stop. Yeah, so I walked up to the Radio Disney booth and I was like, I really want to be on the radio. Well, do you have any experience? No, but you know, here's my resume. I'm a freshman. I've done all these things. I was an athlete, but I have all these things under my belt. Okay, well, we're only hiring for corporate interns, but you know, we'll see. Flash forward, like 10 minutes, I go back and I'm like, don't forget about me. And then flash forward, I want to say like 3 or 4 months later, I'm like eating in the cafeteria freshman year and I get a phone call from Ernie D, which is the programming director at Radio Disney. And he was like, I'd like to meet you. I see your resume. I know you want to be on air. I know you have no experience, but you know, I want to meet you. I met him in Burbank, Radio Disney Studios, had a conversation with him, and then we just kept in touch. Wow. So he said, every Friday you send me an air check of you pretending to be on Radio Disney. An air check is, hey, what's going on? It's Radio Disney. I'm Jessica Flores. We're giving away tickets to go see. Blah. That's an air check.
Just like a video of yourself.
A recording, not even video. So I'd go to a studio every Friday that I was interning at, have my friend sit down like on a microphone like this, and I would just pretend to be on Radio Disney every Friday, send it to Ernie D every Friday. Sometimes I wouldn't get responses months at a time. I want to say like 8 months later, he finally is like, I think you're ready for a live audition.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went in, did a live audition. Now, keep in mind, Gina, when I'm recording these air checks for 8 months, I'm doing it over and over. I'm perfecting it in the studio. I can re-record it, and then send it.
Oh, no.
Being live on the radio is a completely different thing, girl. You are live on the radio for all the U.S. to hear. It's nationally syndicated. It's not local radio. This is the U.S. From New York to California. People are tuning in live. I damn near threw up on my way to the studio. I like damn near threw up. But anyway, I did the live audition. Long story short, after a month, I'd have to go in every day early in the morning, do my live thing for like an hour and a half. I ended up getting the job, and I ended up being weekends. So that was like my first job was
while you're in school still.
Sophomore year. Yeah. Shit. And then from there, just 10 years of like an incredible journey after that.
So in a snapshot, Radio Disney, then
Power 106.
Power 106. Hello. We all grew up with that one.
Yeah. Junior year, produced the night show. And then got moved to mornings when Big Boy left for a different station. And then yeah, did that for 2 years, worked under some of the most iconic DJs, iconic people. And then from there, I worked at Musical.ly, now known as TikTok, doing Latin partnerships there. From there, I did a show in Miami for Telemundo. And then it's just been like, girl, like careers. I feel like you think back on it and it's like, it feels like it happened like that. But really, it's
so interesting. And then as much as you can plan for it and think you can plan for it, opportunities will come out of nowhere. And then you'll end up somewhere like where you are. And it's just like, I never, ever would have thought of this. But for your grit, but for your tenacity, you're just like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it. And you do it.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it, even if it's scary. And I know that's something you live your life by is like, how many times are you like, you know what? I want to throw a retreat at the ranch. And you just do it. Like, I can't even tell you how many times this woman will just say something and be like,
I'm going to do it.
Maybe I'm going to do that. Oh, we have a piece of land there. Oh, okay. We're just going to turn it into this and turn it into that. And like, you are just so collaborative and you're about it. Like, you will make it happen.
Always.
And that's what it takes is saying it. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of the times. And this is why people get stuck is you say you want to do something, you dream it, you think about it. There's a seed there, but no action comes from it sometimes. We're all guilty of doing it.
See?
We're all but I feel like you're so great at just being like,
practice makes perfect,
let's
though,
go.
right?
It's like a muscle, isn't it?
It's muscle memory. It's just, you want to build your bicep. What do you got to do? Get in the gym, eat high protein, stop eating so much unhealthy stuff. And then your muscle after time will grow. Willpower and just, you can develop that.
You
Absolutely can.
You're so right. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
When do you ever feel like doubtful or things
every day?
like that? Every day.
Every day.
Really?
Every day.
How do you combat it?
I realize it's not true, and I realize it's fake, and I realize it is a fear I was taught through programming, I call it, from my past, from society. You and I have talked a lot offline about the categorization of what a woman like us should be doing. And I realize that's a bunch of bullshit that is setting me up for failure. And if I live in that fear space, I ain't going to make one damn movement. And I have one life. The clock is ticking. Continue to sit and think and worry and what if, oh my God, but what, or just fucking go.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to fail. Failure is a lesson. Failure, I welcome. The reason Mike and I succeed is because we're willing to fail more than everyone else, period.
Yeah.
And that's where you just do away with the fear and lean in.
Yeah, that's what people don't see, right? Is like that failure sometimes that you have to sit there and combat with all the time.
But part of why I do this is I interview people like you because you didn't just say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it wasn't just like a walk in the park.
No. Oh, the way I'm saying it feels like it probably was like,
know.
and then I got ready to, and then I got.
I know.
No.
The amount of failures,
tears,
and dead ends. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no connections.
No idea what I'm doing.
I don't know anyone.
It's so true.
I really fucked this up. How many times I've said that? I mean, come on. But thank God.
Thank
God. At least I did it. At least I tried. Hello.
At least you did it and tried it. That's the thing too, is like, I feel like sometimes people will look at your life and be like, wow, she has it so good. Like, look at everything she has.
I do.
Yeah. And you do. But what did you have to do to get there? How many times did you have to talk yourself out, Gina, of being like, okay, I must move. What's next? Moving.
Every single day.
Every day.
And it's funny because people see Instagram and, we put out what, the narrative we want to put out, but it's absolutely true. Every single day. It's not like, oh, she used to be like that. She doesn't have those fears, those insecurities, those imposter syndrome. Of course I do.
Yeah, we all do.
Every day is a brand new day. I am growing at exponential speed. How can I feel comfortable every single moment? It's not possible. It's daunting. It's scary. I have a lot riding on me. We have 6 kids together, Mike and I. We have an empire we're building. Multiple businesses.
Farm animals.
Fucking animals. Oh, on that note, by the way, guess what? The vet came out to the ranch, Louisiana ranch. Jessica's been twice. We had the vet come out to check the fat goat.
What? Pregnant.
Twins. Delivered 2 weeks ago.
Okay, see, we all knew it.
The local vet came out and he's like, no, she's not fat, or she's not pregnant, she's just fat. Isn't that like vet 101?
Yeah. Like, how could you not tell this? When I say this goat was out here, I'm like, oh, she is
not comfortable.
She's been having so much of that southern food, girl.
I thought we had to put her on, a high protein diet and get her moving, but she was pregnant.
Oh,
so now we have 2 little baby goats.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
Adorable.
We need to name them.
Kobe and Gianna, because they were born in 2024.
I love that.
Yeah,
Kobe and
appropriate,
Gianna.
right?
Yeah.
So anyways, that's, you see, I have to worry about fucking goats too.
Yeah. You have a whole slew of
But
things
I
on your
get to.
plate.
I don't have to do any of it. I get to.
That's the key.
It's gratitude. It's a mindset of abundance. I don't have to do anything. I have everything I need. I don't lack anything. And something I know we wanted to briefly touch on in this conversation is something we love talking about is that mindset in our culture, especially for women who look like us, of shedding away with the categories. Like,
I'm done with the categories.
I'm a woman. Oh, this is how I was taught to lead. I'm a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
I am the product of a first generation education. I wasn't first gen. My dad was. I'm divorced. I'm remarried. I had cancer.
All these labels.
All the labels first. Oh, I'm a mom. You got to say that first, because if you don't, then you don't love your kids.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I say that last if I say it at all. How about those all ever just bullet points under Jessica, Gina?
Yeah.
Ever evolving.
Yeah.
Not being, you thought you were this basketball and you were this basketball athletic person for this one part of your life. That season changed. You pivot. You go into radio. You pivot. You go into moving to Nashville by yourself.
Yeah.
Exploring what's next. What's next? You're not saying, I'm a woman of color. I'm not this. I'm not that. I hear it so much.
It's all day, every day.
And so many women come up to me and ask, well, how do you do it? How do you do it all? I'm like, well, first of all, you got to shed those labels. You've got to get that out of your mind. Don't blame anyone outside of you.
Yeah.
Your past, your boyfriend, your husband, your toxic, your that. Your government, I don't care. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, you determine so much more of your life. But I feel like that it's also easier and again, like I think the reason why people lean on doing that is because to them it's maybe easier to blame so many things on why. So mind you, there's so much of life you can't control. But the percentage that you can control, you can change the whole course of your life, the quality of your life, like the little percentage that you can. It's like the reaction that you have to all these things that you can't control. But that way that you react can change absolutely everything. And here's the thing that kind of blows my mind is I think because we do come from like immigrant parents, like your grandparents, my parents, for instance, they came here with the no victim mentality. I genuinely think it's the media that's kind of putting all these thoughts into like a lot of our community's mind of like, no, the reason you aren't succeeding is because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's exactly why I'm not succeeding. No, empower yourself. Empower yourself. Like we can't sit around and blame all these circumstances on why we're not doing as good as we should be doing. I know it's the easy way to do it. I know it's the easy route. I know like there's so many things in my life where I'm like, God, if only I had this, then I'll be successful. Yeah, I feel like that way all the time. You constantly have to battle those thoughts. But why is it that our older generation of parents, immigrants that came here, never came here? They came here with a dream, with maybe the shirt on their back, with no English, ready because they knew that this country was going to give them the freedom to build the life that they want, opportunity that they want. Why have we lost that as a community, like that fight? You know what I mean? That I'm going to do what I need, what I came here to do. And I'm not going to blame so many things and, add so many labels to myself. Like, no, just be and do and work hard, be a good person.
Go.
You just go.
Not like, oh, but you don't understand. I'm a single mom and I have to work 2 jobs and I don't have a network of people to support me like you do, Jessica. You have a network. You don't understand. It's not as easy for me. Oh, pues. Okay, well, there's your mindset and there's Jessica's mindset. It has nothing to do with what the other person has or doesn't have. It is here. And controlling your thoughts, controlling your reaction, controlling how, like, where are you? And I always say, and people like don't agree with me, but you have the life you want to have. You are living the life you want to live. I don't want to be, some people will be like, well, I don't want this life. You think I want to be doing all this? What are you doing about changing it then? What are you doing about changing it then? It's not going to be like that overnight. Never.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's fucking hard.
Life is hard.
Big deal. Cry me a river. Get the fuck to work and start doing it. Or continue. Life is hard. Yeah. The government's against me. This is against me. Oh, this is... Okay, well, you're still sitting in that same spot. Now you're really complaining and you're not acting. You're not moving. What can you do? And say what you want about America. Like, this is a pretty great place for an education. You can get, scholarships. You can get financial aid. Who cares? You have school debt. Who fucking cares? It's an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
Come on. There's options. We're not in, Palestine right now or Gaza. That's a no options kind of situation. Not here. Not the people I know that look at us and have that victim mindset. They just need to understand that they have the option to think like us.
Yeah. It's a quick switch in mentality.
That's it.
It's just a switch in how you view the world. Like the lens that you're viewing it from, just switch it, turn it on and know, you know what? You are so much more in control of your life than the way maybe you've been living. Mind you, I have been victim of that. Like there's times where I look around again and I'm like, the reason why is this and the reason why is that. And that just didn't get me anywhere. That didn't get me anywhere except being sad. And here's the thing also, is I feel like the reason why the media pushes that narrative so down our throats is because they truly understand that's the way to truly oppress a community is when they're like, oh, if we just tell them, yeah, you're incapable of all these things because of all these things out of your control.
Yes.
That is like your mind is almost in a cage. That's like the way that they'll get you. And then that's when they can control you because they control your emotions. The more emotional you are, the more you can be manipulated. I'm a very firm believer in that.
I 100% agree with you. And, there will be people on the other side that don't agree, but I'm not talking to them because you're entitled to think what you want. But if you really want to change your life and if you want to have that life that you think everyone else has that you don't have, it starts with you.
Yeah.
You're not going to change the government. You're not going to change your community immediately. You can.
Yeah.
But it starts with you. It starts with you, your attitude. One thing that helped me really make that switch was every morning when I woke up, instead of saying, I have to do this, I have to go work out, I have to do this, I have, whether it was good or bad, I had to do it. I woke up and I said, I get to do this. I get
to. That right there, Gina, can literally change, I think, people's lives. Like for all the people that feel like they have it so bad, which we all feel like that from time to time, instead of saying, I have to do that, like I have to drive here and handle this. No, you get to drive there. Maybe you have a car. Some people have to take a bus, or what, anything in your life, instead of have, you say get, it will change everything. Like I have to go to work. No, you get to go to work. How many people are praying they find a job right now in this economy?
Thank you. I get to go to work. Oh, but I don't like my job. Okay, well, that's a discussion you need to start having. What do you need to do to get out of that job?
Start small.
Act, move. But it starts with
I need to put like a Gina in my pocket and just like be like, all right, Gina, what do you got for me? Give me some motivation right now. Because truthfully, and I can sympathize with people that don't always feel that way. Like I totally get it. And you're not always going to feel that way. But I think as long as, for the most part, if you can adapt this mentality in 6 months, just watch how your whole life, the way you view the world,
6
your
days.
mentality, 6 days of adapting
6 hours of thinking that for 6 straight hours.
Like I got this. Nobody is in control of my life except me. Things will happen to me and I just adapt
and
I react and that's it.
This is all okay. I am where I need to be. If I don't like it, I can change it. Is it going to happen overnight? No. But that's okay too. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. Is it going to feel uncomfortable and scary? Yes. Since when were we taught to avoid that? That's the other mind control thing. Oh, if it's too much, don't do it. Stay the complacent little worker bee. Yeah. Don't complain. Be happy and grateful for what you have. That sounds like a goddamn nightmare. Torture. That's, you want to know what my nightmare is? That?
Yeah. You literally wake up on cold sweat thinking about
what? What do you mean I can't change my trajectory of my life?
Yeah. And that's like, I think that's a big reason why I wanted to do the trip, because I was starting to feel so like being in Los Angeles for 10 years. It's been lovely and I love it here. This is home, but I just wanted something different. I personally wanted to change of pace, and it's okay to listen to your heart, listen to your mind, shed an old identity of yourself. Like for me right now, my priority is to live a little bit more intentional, to really like, I've been on a minute, like a million miles a minute. I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional. I'm personally trying to get like closer to God. All the things in your life you're being called to do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it next year.
Yeah,
when I have time.
That. I was like, I'll travel the country in a camper and an RV next year.
When I have time.
Next year when I have time. And it's scary. And a lot of people judge me for it. And a lot of people are like, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like, especially my parents are like, you're crazy. But it's your life. You're so in control of it.
Do you regret doing it?
Heck no.
Were you terrified?
Yes. When I was driving away from my house, like for the first time, like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm headed towards Oklahoma right now. What? So scared. So excited though.
By yourself. And just back it up for people who don't know what you've done.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. People probably don't. I just decided to like leave out of Los Angeles, get in a camper. I've been dreaming of doing it, travel the country by myself. I settled in Tennessee. I'm living by a lake in a camper right now.
By herself.
And it's been lovely. And I've always been scared of being alone, right? Like for an extended amount of time.
Really?
Yeah. I think like I love going to eat by myself sometimes. Short spurts is fine, but like a long couple month span of being alone.
A lot of people are scared of that.
Super scary, but I have been having a ball. Like going to a random spot in Oklahoma City, just meeting a bunch of friends, different perspectives, different mindsets. Like it is so eye-opening, Gina, when you go and you explore and you see what else is out there. I think that's why maybe you also love the ranch so much, is because the people in Louisiana are way different than the people here. And it kind of like grounds you a little bit, and it makes you see the world in so many different ways, you know?
It's interesting that you say that, and I think now that you have this experience, you might agree. When Mike and I bought the ranch in Louisiana, I was terrified because I'm like, that's the Deep South. It's red. I know the history. Trump land, blah, blah, blah. Hello, look at me. Progressive Los Angeles. I was terrified. I can say now, having been out there almost 3 years, some of the most wonderful relationships, the most kind, genuine people who have showed up for us, who don't know me from anything. Lovely conversations, learning about their way of life, understanding why maybe they do think the way they do. And that's okay. Not all of it, but
yeah. It's so true.
But it's not, it's again, the media portraying and telling us this is what it is there.
And this is what it is in California.
And you're living by yourself in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Sweetest people though.
Sweetest people.
Yeah, I've had my camper break down and multiple propane tanks and all these things. And Brad from Alabama, who's staying in the parking spot right next to me,
thanks, Brad.
massive, comes on over. He's like, well, this is going to go into there and that's going to go into here. And I did a video about it that went really viral on my Instagram. If you guys want to check it out, it's like when my pipe froze. Nicest Southern hospitality. Reminded me of the people in Louisiana, the fine people in Louisiana that I met. I mean, it just makes you realize, the media wants people to think that if you're from here and here, you're super divided. No,
we're not divided.
It's
at
just
all.
There's different solutions to what they think the country, how the country should be ran. It's just a different way of, but ultimately I think everybody, if you just come together, you realize how much more in common you have.
Right, but they don't want us to do that.
No.
Let's create the divisiveness.
Yeah.
Keep everyone hating each other. Keep your focus off what's really going on.
Yep.
And not realize that if you actually work together, things ain't that bad after all. We can actually figure most things out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, I applaud you. And I think it's just so brilliant that you're doing what you're doing. Again, you do have a big following. So I think it's even more important that you're showcasing that to other people who in their life, maybe their big thing is leaving the job or leaving the house or leaving the relationship or starting a business. She did it. She's doing it, And so highlighting what your journey is, and this is just one part of your beautiful long story. I thought it was important to share it. And then I would love to have you back because I know we talk a lot about a lot of wonderful concepts.
We could sit here and talk all day. If only people heard like our off the mic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Girl. Those are paid subscription ones.
Yeah, we need to do something like that because they get juicy.
Yes, they are. And we'll talk about money trauma next time.
Ooh, I have a lot of that. So I'm your perfect person.
Billionaire mindset, ladies. Billionaire mindset. That's the goal. Okay, so in closing, what piece of advice for anyone watching you and who says, wow, I've kind of always wanted to do that too, or whatever it is for them? What do you tell them?
Oh my God. Okay. Always, always, always. This has always been my answer to this question. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I love that quote. I personally love the feel the fear, but do it anyway. Because no matter what, no matter new job, being a mom for the first time, job promotion, traveling across the country by yourself, you're going to feel fear. You're going to feel fear. And anytime you do something new for the first time, you're going to feel it, doubt. That's your mind trying to protect you, right? From failure, from hurting yourself. But feel the fear, feel alive. That's part of the human experience. And do it anyway. Jump. Girl, jump.
Yes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, where can they find you?
Yo, Jessica Flores on Instagram.
Jessica Flores. I'll put it in the comments.
Yes,
Bye-bye,
sir.
guys. Thank you.